So my name is Chris Britton and I'm an author and podcaster and author of the best-selling book Behind the I'm Fine. It's a deep dive into men's health and masculinity. It's a mixture of stats and storytelling about what I think is really going on for men's health right now. The danger of phrases like I'm fine, especially for men, is that it's just an autopilot default response to what's really going on. We say it because we don't really want to express how we're feeling internally. And actually, when we say it out loud and people hear it, particularly from guys, we typically just move on from the conversation because we don't really want to know what the answer is truthfully. So I think if we just stick with I'm fine, we're never really going to understand what's going on for men and men's health, and the conversations never become open and honest. And that's a real dangerous sign when it comes to health and mental health for guys overall.
I have used it in the past. I have close friends and family that have used it all their lives, and I see it as a defense mechanism. I see it as a warning from the person that you're talking to say, don't go there, leave me alone, don't push. And I think we have grown up in a society where we obey that request quite a lot more than we should. We see probing beneath the I'm fine as a weakness to be exposed, and I think people feel that they would be weakened by looking at what lies behind the I'm fine. But I really feel that society would be strengthened by a little bit more understanding of what's behind it, and I think we can only get stronger through exploring the feelings and the authenticity that lies behind an I'm fine, which is quite shallow and superficial. When I was a teenager, we definitely had children suffering from poor mental health, and we did have a child at my school who took her own life. So there were problems, as there are today, but nobody talked about them. Teachers didn't talk about them. It wasn't part of the school curriculum. And so I think there were a lot of people who were feeling isolated or anxious, stressed, depressed, and they didn't talk about it. And it wasn't until my last year of school where a very good friend of mine confessed that she would sometimes be anxious and have to breathe into a paper bag to relieve her hyperventilation. That was the only episode of someone talking about a mental struggle. Other times, everyone kept silent and everyone just got on with life because that's what we had to do. And so I think there was a huge stigma, but also there was a lot of ignorance. And so it wasn't that people didn't want to talk about it, it just wasn't a thing that people talked about, despite the fact that there were lots of children suffering in silence. Well, when I was growing up in the 70s and 80s, there was no language around the problems that I experienced other than being lazy or a daydreamer, words that actually feature in quite a few of my school reports. And so the struggles that I had were not talked about in any positive light or with any strategies other than get on with it, wake up, deal with it, focus, concentrate. And because of that negative language and the attention that my behaviours and difficulties drew in the classroom from teachers, I found that I grew up with a sense of being less than other people around me. I used to look around the classroom and see other people succeeding and wondering why I was so different despite all of my efforts to succeed.
Stereotypes for men and what it means to be a man and mental health amongst men are a real issue, and they have been actually for hundreds if not thousands of years. We haven't really evolved much when it comes to masculinity, going all the way back to the Greeks where a man was a man, and into the Romans and all the way up to where we are now. Everyone still thinks that men are silent and strong and stoic and don't say anything. It's weakness, emotion and vulnerability is poor. And that's just really, really unhelpful. I think men in today's world need to be more comfortable in their skin, more comfortable in their own emotions, and talk about how they're feeling out loud. And that's the only way to really, truly continue evolution when it comes to what's going on for men right now in society. The spark that really made me sit down and write Behind the I'm Fine was my own experiences as a guy, as a husband, as a dad. My wife suffered a couple of back-to-back miscarriages recently, and I felt very frustrated that I didn't have a place to speak about it. I didn't know how to speak about it. So I did what most guys do, and I internalized it, didn't say much, but then I thought I'm going to start writing this down to help me feel better. And that just spiraled into what is now a book. So male body image is an interesting one for men. I think it's one of those things that's definitely a taboo topic amongst men's health more broadly anyway. You know, my own experiences of my own body image, particularly in my teenage years and into where I am now, I remember going to the gym 5 times a week, trying to bulk and trying to eat so much, and then trying to cut and lose it all and trying to get a physique that I thought I was really proud of. But I was comparing that against unrealistic expectations, looking at fitness models, actors, all these people you see online and thinking, oh, I want to be what they are. But it was just unrealistic. And that really is very unhelpful because it's one of those things that we don't talk about for men through embarrassment or shame. We just stuff ourselves with supplements, we go to the gym, or we get annoyed at ourselves for not gaining weight or losing weight quickly enough. So it's a real untapped area of men's health, and particularly mental health. We need to get better at talking about what we look like and being comfortable with what we look like. I think the biggest barrier to change about men opening up about their mental health is waiting for something to happen. One of the things we have to do is control the narrative. We have to, of course, hope that things like government and policy and budgets and all that sort of stuff expands in places like mental health, and particularly for men's mental health. But if you wait for that stuff to happen, the stats are going to continue to get worse. We can control what we can control, so do that. Think about our little influence that we have on our friends, your brother, your dad, your son, your friendship groups, your work colleagues. Those are direct people that we can control or influence on right now. So shooting people a text, checking in and making sure people are okay on a regular basis. That doesn't require big government intervention, doesn't require a lot of time or money. It just requires us being deliberate and thoughtful. That's what we need to do now to make change really happen.